In this GlassTrax training video, I'll be covering how to run a price increase in GlassTrax. Now this is pricing for your customers, not prices that you pay your vendors. In order to do this, we have two different ways. I'm going to be spending most of this time on this video covering the more complete way in my opinion, but I will show you both ways. The first way, which is less effective in my opinion, is found under inventory control. And if you scroll all the way over to the right in miscellaneous, there's a price cost utility. You can update costs in here as well if you need to, but most people use this for pricing. You can see here I've got my price. You can do copy from price, put in an item ID if you're doing one item at a time. You can do a category of items, a specific customer ID if you're updating customer specific pricing, or customer type if you're updating customer type pricing. You copy to, and you would normally copy the exact same thing that you put up here. So if I were saying, hey, I'm updating single light items, that's one of my categories, I'm copying to single light items, as you can see here. And then you go ahead and put in your multiplier percentage and round to the nearest cent, and you just hit save and then post. Now I'm going to jump into the more effective way, which is found in the GlassTrax utilities. If you do not know where the GlassTrax utilities are, if you go to your File Explorer, not an internet browser, but File Explorer, it looks like this. You would go to C, Program Files x86, GlassTrax, and you would find your GlassTrax utilities right here. You will have to log in as supervisor to access your utilities. So if you do not know your supervisor password, find someone there who does. If you do not have anyone there on site who knows the supervisor password, please reach out to KSS. We're happy to help you out with that as well. Once you're in, you're going to go to Pricing Utilities and go to Adjust Item Pricing. It's a similar screen here where you can select a category ID or a range of category IDs or a set of category IDs. Or you can do specific item IDs. You can do specific item names if you don't know the item IDs. You can also update processes here as well. You just need to change that to processing charges right there. You can also do this now. You can also say include only specific customers. So if you're saying I'm raising the price by 5% on my monolithic glass, but only for these 5 customers, then you can go ahead and make this as include, put in the customer IDs separated with a comma. Or you can say I'm including or I'm excluding these 5 customers, basically saying I'm raising the price on everyone except for these 5 customers. You change that to exclude and put in those customer IDs separated by a comma again. You can also update by customer type here. Just say all my A customers, they're getting a price increase. As you can see, you can skip this right here, but you can come here and make sure you're updating item pricing. Your increase right here, if you want to say I'm increasing by 5, now it's going to default to $, so make sure you put that percentage sign in there and it knows, okay, that means 5%. And I'm going to check this around to the nearest cent box here. Now to go over these check boxes really quickly, you would come in here and you would say, all right, fill blank columns from nearest non-blank column to the left. Basically, in GlassTrax on the pricing screen, let me just show you real quick how that looks. There are multiple columns, and so it's telling you, do you want to fill in all these columns? So saying to the furthest to the left. So if these are blank, fill these in. If you only had something right here, go ahead and fill these in all the way over. So that's what that's referring to. If I come back to the utilities here, the next one is add customer specific pricing records if not already present. So if I were to come here and say I'm doing this for just these for just this one customer, ABC Glass, I'm going to check that box because it's going to create customer specific price record for this customer. It's the same if I do exclude. If I'm raising the price for everyone except for 5 customers and they do not have customer specific pricing for my category that I'm raising, you would check that and it would create customer specific pricing records for those customers that you are excluding on this, so that they retain that lower price. This update last price change, that I would always keep selected. And then this skip records with non-blank customer IDs or customer type. Basically that's saying if a customer type specific price or a customer specific price exists for any of these items, go ahead and skip it. We're not changing those. We're only updating the general price. Now, once you've got all this, you can say, well, do you want to run this utility now? You say yes, and it'll go ahead and ask you if you're okay. Now, before you do that, one thing I would strongly recommend is going to where your live data is stored. If you don't know where your live data is stored, it's easily found within GlassTrax. All you have to do is go to the Help menu, click on About GlassTrax, scroll down, and you see Data, and here's exactly where your data is stored. Okay, you can copy this into your File Explorer, pull it open, and this is my sample data I'm working with. Look for a file called CS Price. This is where we store all of your pricing information. So right here's mine. I would copy this and I would save it on my desktop before I run that utility, just in case you accidentally increase it by too much, or you don't have your filter set correctly, and you run this price increase, and you realize, oh shoot, that shouldn't have touched that certain category or this particular item, or I forgot to create customer-specific pricing records. You have this file saved. All you'd have to do is drop it back into your sample data, and you'd be okay. So that's one thing you definitely want to do before, is make sure you make a copy of that CS price prior to running this utility right here.